is here this weekend, right?
I know, I haven't seen him. We've been looking for him everywhere.
Isn't that the funny thing? At the cons are all in one space, but everybody is kind of off doing their own thing. So
Yeah.
you just got to catch up with him at some point before you go.
He's so beautiful.
Yeah.
He's such a beautiful person.
Well, and he really had some lovely things to say about your performance on Mandalorian. I think one of the words he said was raw, but very emotional and really nice, high praise. Are those moments, like when was the first time you kind of had that feeling of sort of affirmation from a fellow actor who was like, wow, okay, you know, you're really good, like and how did that make you feel?
Well, I think it was, again, Michael Fassbender, because he was the first actor I ever read lines with. I just ended up being in Ireland, and, I was like, I've never read lines with an actor before. And he was like, put a whiskey down in front of me. He was like, okay, we're doing this fast, we're doing this slow. We're doing it like all sorts of different ways. And I was like, oh my gosh, okay. And I didn't know who he was. He actually hit it really big after that, but he was just, So he said, you know what, you're kind of a classic. Like, a lot of people go outward, and like they overact. And with me, I go way inward. So like some directors will be like, just scream it. Just scream it, and then we'll go backwards. And I'm like, I don't want to. So I go inward, and then like build up to coming out to that.
There's a lot of power in that kind of inward and quiet approach.
It's torture. Gosh, it's not on purpose.
Who are some of the actors that, when you were a little kid, or even when you first started pursuing acting as this part of your career, who were some of the actors you were looking at?
It was on my wall.
Yeah.
I had a wall. There was only 2 people on it.
Okay.
Johnny Depp.
Angelina Jolie. Okay. Which was it, Captain? Well, no, it wouldn't be. Which character of Johnny?
Crybaby.
Crybaby. Okay. So you were John Warner. Right on. And then when you started pursuing it as a career, who were people that you're kind of checking out and being like, I like what they're doing. I like the approach of their career, where they're going.
So that's interesting. I've never followed anybody's career and tried to model my life after that, because I don't know. Even in fighting, they're like, whose career? I'm like, I just got to do this on my own, because I don't think anybody's got my mind. So I don't necessarily look at somebody how they did it and try to emulate it. I think I like this. I want to make it all me. So I don't know if that answers your question.
No, it does. It does. Now, do you find yourself in your head? Do you call yourself an actor? Do you feel like an actor now?
Hell yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, and I want to be an actor, and I want to create film, and I want to tell stories, and I plan on doing it no matter if I'm canceled or not.
So, is there truth to the story that you initially, when you were cast on The Mandalorian, or when you were in talks for it, that you believed you were going to be a Wookiee?
Yes.
Can you tell me more about this?
I was like, okay. I got the phone call that Jon Favreau wants to meet you, and I was like, okay, that's huge. And at that time, I don't really follow people's careers, so I was like, he's a producer and a director. I didn't know he directed Elf. I was so clueless.
Oh, yeah.
I'm still clueless.
Well, he had a wild career, yeah.
Yeah, so I went and I saw him, and I was like, whatever this man tosses at me, I am going to do. And I was like, well, I might be short, but I probably would love to dress up and all of that fur. And maybe that's why they want me in the background or something. Regardless, it's just gonna be incredible to meet Jon Favreau. And so that's in my head I went in, and then when I went in and he showed me, he's like, do you know why you're here? And I was my family's wedding.
Oh, yeah.
Plug. No, they don't own it anymore, but my grandfather. Anyway, long story. Okay, so I just said, it's great to meet you. I didn't know if I had any job, and he was like, well, you're here for Star Wars. And I was like, what? Like, my introduction to Star Wars was with my stepdad. My stepdad would always be watching these really cool things on TV, and he was watching Star Wars, and he was a big fan of that. My real dad is like, he's way too busy. Every time he's fallen asleep in premieres, like, he just like kicks up his feet. So my stepdad introduced it to me as well as like Indiana Jones and Flashdance. Like, I was like, wow, this is amazing, a whole new world. So I kind of got a little bit of culture there. So yeah, totally forgot your question. What was it?
Sorry, I was pouring this into my cup and I lost track of my question as well. Wookiee. You thought you were going to be a Wookiee, and then how that played out.
Yeah, and then I was like looking on the inspirational boards when John Carano was taking me through all the inspiration boards, and he came to this woman with really short hair, and he was like, what do you think? And I was like, she looks badass. Like, she's got like one of the only faces in this, whole inspirational board. He's like, well, that's you. And I was like, I don't have anything covering my face. I don't have a helmet. I don't have a Wookiee costume. And he was, God bless him. He was really excited about Cardi.
At the moment, I'm going to set this can down. It's getting awkward here. At the moment, there's so many things to handle. At the moment that you did think you were going to be a Wookiee, that brief moment, was there a Wookiee-like roar or sound in your head that you were like, all right, this is how I'm going to approach Wookiee-dom?
No, but does somebody want to do a Wookiee sound? Do one of them want to do it?
Hold on. I wasn't going to make you do it. I was just curious if you had.
Oh, no,
I would.
Totally deflected.
I would never do that to you, but.
Something really weird's going to come out, and I just don't want to torture everyone with that.
I mean, I have a Wookiee roar inside. I mean, we all have a Wookiee roar.
It would be so awkward. I have a knack of making things awkward, so.
But, kind of.
I'll go practice it, though.
We'll practice Wookiee roars backstage. It's actually really cool that you mention Indiana Jones, because it didn't really connect with me until this exact moment, but Raiders of the Lost Ark, there's obviously the swagger of Harrison Ford, and there is a scene after he believes Marion had died. He's in a bar, and he's kind of just like hanging there, and the bad guys come in. And your introduction in The Mandalorian, it just struck me as this very cool vibe in a cantina, very almost Indiana Jones, like I think, like, at least in my head, like, just the leg sort of kicked up slightly, not giving a crap, but also very much ready for action. Talk about that initial moment where we meet that character and what was going through your head and the physicality that you wanted to put into it. Thank you.
Well, I really found the character with John Favreau.
Yeah.
He told me, he was like, if I was going to be somebody in this series, I want to be your character. And so, he really worked with me on confidence and relaxing and really kind of like understanding that you're the badass here, and you're also the person that does give you're looking out for yourself, your own needs. And so, obviously, I'm a person who really cares. I care tremendously about people. I get nervous to do things like this, and so Cara Dune was everything opposite of that. She had to be comfortable in her skin. She had to be strong and accept that strength. And by playing her, I really felt like I actually did in real life. I wasn't hired as like, you have to be a female or I was hired to be a soldier and to be the one with experience. And to be this rogue character and strength. And by playing her, I felt strength. And I think that's actually really changed my life for the better. So Cara Dune has been a character that transformed the strength that I had somewhere in here, and it started coming out throughout the last 2 years, and I feel really good about that.
Again, great character arc, but also really great introduction, and really great moment, because it just conveys so much about, it's those little things.
Yeah.
It just conveys so much about who she is and who she's going to be.
Bryce Dallas Howard directed that episode, and it was so funny, because when you're acting, usually you're in your eye line. Nobody's supposed to be in your eye line, but it was funny. Gina Carano and Bryce Dallas Howard were standing there right in my eye line. Not for that scene, but when me and Nando were talking, and I could just see them and I'm nervous, just like I always am, but I'm doing my part and really feeling good about it. And I could just see them celebrating the I'm this is distracting, but it's fun. So at least I know where they stand. They're excited about it, so it was cool.
The world of The Mandalorian is very much it has a Wild West vibe to it, but you just wrapped filming on an actual Wild West movie.
Yes, yeah.
Tell us a little bit about it. It's Terror on the Prairie.
Terror on the Prairie.
Prairie, sorry.
So what happened was when I got to, I moved out of California, I moved into an RV, and I took my time to get over to Tennessee because I'm going to do this movie with the Daily Wire. Ben Shapiro, once I got canceled. Canceled, he offered me, he's like, no, you can't take this, lying down. He's like, you have to punch back. So I was like, all right, I'm down for punching. So he said, I'll do a movie with you. And then it came with all this other stuff, and I was like, well, now it's getting a lot. Can we just do the movie? He's like, yes, we can of course just do the movie. So I moved out of California, moved into an RV, went over to Nashville. When I got there, we were gonna plan on doing this movie called White Knuckle. And I didn't know they were shooting that DJ Caruso shut-in movie right before me, and they were having to play by all the SAG-AFTRA movies, or the SAG-AFTRA rules, which is testing every single day, and they asked me, they're like, are you comfortable with the testing every day and the masks and all of that? And I just am not. I'm not comfortable making anybody do anything that they don't want to do. Yeah, so you're not alone. So they said, well, then we aren't going to be able to do a SAG-AFTRA movie. We're going to have to go non-union. I said, okay, let's go non-union, and they're like, you're okay with that? I'm like, well, it's better than being in an environment where everybody has to be forced to do something that they don't want to do. And so I was like, okay, let's go and do it non-union. And that put our budget in half. And we attracted some of the most incredible people who wanted to just, people who are vaccinated or wanted to wear a mask, but they didn't want to force anybody else to. So everybody on our set was from everywhere all over the world and from every walks of life and with all different beliefs. And we went over up to Montana and we made a movie on a free set in the middle of all of this craziness. And it's one of my most proud moments because it wasn't an easy decision to make, but had I decided, the whole problem was if I would have said yes, I'm okay with this, then at any time SAG-AFTRA could have mandated the vaccine and then everybody that was working could have lost their job. So that means that they're only going to hire one group of people. And I thought, that's discrimination. It's awful. So we are going to, as hard as all of this is, we're going to make a free set, and we made a passionate, heartfelt, cool movie. It's got no agenda. It's not political. It's just a Western.
You got horses?
Yes, I grew up in horses. I I used to do barrel racing and gymkhanas in Las Vegas. Yeah. I think there's something really special about horses. Once you get on them, they know every energy in your body. So horses are, they might be my spirit animal.
Yeah?
Yeah.
They're powerful,
What's
they're
yours?
impressive. They're like, what's my spirit animal?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's a good question. I don't know, Jeff Goldblum. I wish. Probably, I don't know, I like reptiles. I mean, I like all animals, but I definitely have a dig reptiles. Plus, from the Harry Potter world, definitely a Slytherin. I'm a Scorpio, I was born in the year of the snake. I'm a nice guy.
I can see all that.
Thank you, I think. I think.
No, I mean, like, all things have their beauty.
Thank you, Gina, for saying even I have some beauty in me. I appreciate that. You want to take a couple questions before we roll out of here? Yeah? Lance, do we have or Brenda, a floating mic or anything? Yes.
Thank you all for sitting here. This is awesome.
Just keep it.
Thank you, Gina.
We only got about 9 minutes. Okay, so keep it super chill. And one question per person. I'm originally from Orlando, and I'm a proud Floridian, even though I don't live here. Don't get too weird on me, guys. All right, Lance, you pick him. Yeah, you pick it. The man with the hat. That's Tallahassee up there.
Hi, by the way, huge fan. Being a female wrestler, because I wrestled all through high school and everything like that, how do you think that affected the way that you were portrayed as an actor? And how do you feel that affects the way that you're viewed as a woman in your roles?
I think you can definitely get pigeonholed a little bit. You know, like, oh, this is just an action person. But when you really look at it, like, my favorite movie is Pride and Prejudice with Colin Firth. I know, I'm Andrew Gable. It's like, I do love my Braveheart and my Last Mohicans and all of that, but yeah, I really am like a more dramatic, I think, story-driven person. So I do get like a little bit pigeonholed and just playing the action stuff. But then I'll do something non-action. I was like, oh my gosh, I can't wait to go back and kick some ass. I got a lot of shit I need to get out. Yeah, so, but I'm really like proud of my work here because I feel like other women can, you know, when you see me, I think that you can really believe that can happen, which it can. And that's what's cool about me bringing action to life on film is like, I can do that shit, you know, so let's go.
Right on. Thank you. Good question. Do some traveling, Lance. Go somewhere. Yeah, there you go.
Oh my god, I love you, Gina.
Oh, thank you.
You're welcome. What is your absolute favorite film that you've ever filmed?
Okay, so I think there's nothing that compares to your first, right? So Haywire was definitely, Haywire was my first, and funny enough, The Mandalorian was my close second. So if I had to pick two, I'd say Haywire is a movie and The Mandalorian is a series.
Thank you. See, isn't that a lot of pressure having to pick who's going to ask the question?
I just want to know where the working name would be.
Choose, but choose wisely.
Hi. I was wondering, since you said that you work with people from all walks of life, do you have to set some personal boundaries for like some button topics that make you very anxious, or are you like just like you're okay talking about it to a certain point type thing?
No, I mean, I'll talk about, I'm pretty honest, I'll talk about whatever, I don't really come out and, I like names. So this is, but what I figured is this year, you really can't get a good solid read off of someone when they're, posting on social media. And after the 2.5 years that we've all been through, you really can't tell what a person is or who a person is until you meet them and hug them and see their eyes in person. So I felt like this year, more than ever, people needed to be seen, and they needed to hug, and they needed to understand that life doesn't exist in all of this propaganda. It exists right here in this room with us looking at each other and being together. And we all don't believe the same things. We all don't think the same things, but that's okay. We don't have to. When you're online, it feels like we all, take sides, and it becomes this massive gang, and it really doesn't have to be that way, because I guarantee everybody in this room has a different set of history, and so we're all different, and that's actually the best thing about life. If we are all the same, what the hell is this for?
Social media does create a weird distance between people. It's supposed to bring us together, but it does make us less personal and more anonymous, and creates distance.
Yeah. And we can stop that, though. I think we're just learning. It's a learning curve, right? So our current generation right now is going through learning how to communicate more honestly online. And so we're in a hard learning curve, but I do believe on the other side of that, you're going to start seeing people understand we can have conversations, we can disagree, and it's okay.
We're only about 20 years into social media as a thing, and less than 20 years of iPhones and smartphones. We are children.
The thing we do have to do is we have to protect other people's right to disagree instead of censoring and shutting people down and canceling.
I think we only have time for this last question, right, Lance? Is this about time? Yeah. So, okay, final question. It's a young person. Great. Hi.
What made you want to act?
Very good question.
Thank you. I never did want to. But I did know that, so everybody, when you're a professional fighting for a living, everybody thinks, oh, when are you gonna go Hollywood? Like, Hollywood is just the easiest thing to do. And I always said to myself, the right person is gonna find me, and the right person did, and it happened to be an incredible filmmaker, Steven Soderbergh. And they were just watching one of my fights one night, and I don't think I won that one, that was a bad one. But his wife said to him, well, you got some time off here, why don't you make an action movie that looks legit with that girl? And I had a 4-hour conversation with him in Coronado, San Diego, and my mom was like, honey, director, you're gonna go meet a director, make sure that he's not weird. Right, the director in Hollywood, and I'm like, God, I got a black eye from the fight that I lost. I'm like, I got this, okay? Oh no, you raised a strong woman. I'm not gonna go and get crazy. And we had a really nice sit down, and he just said, hey, I'm gonna make this happen really fast. It'll happen really fast or not at all. And 4 days later, they didn't even have a script at the time. 4 days later, they had 2 studios buy them for it, and that's kind of the example of my life, and what I want to encourage everybody to do, just keep your mind open and don't sell out. Stay true to yourselves. The world's going to go through its own trends, but what we can do is listen to your gut instinct, listen to your heart. And that won't change no matter what what the politics are doing or what Hollywood's doing. If you stay true and you stay grounded, you let them freak out, and you can stay right balanced where you're at and let them do the hula hoops around you. So that's why I do my life. I'm not sure this is how things go, but it's normal.
As far as my young friend over there who asked the question, what's your name?
Jordan.
Thank you, Jordan, for the very good question.
Thank
We
you.
appreciate it.
She's going to be a professional cosplayer when she gets older, right? That's what she told me in line.
And the other one's coming for your job, so.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
This is going to be a tough role.
Yeah.
I'm already just like, okay, I'm Betty White. I'm just going to be Betty White in my mind now. The next generation's already good. I'm just
Orlando, Megacon, you guys have been great. And are you going back to
Yeah, I'm gonna go back to the autograph table, and I have to just thank you all.
Yes.
Thank you all for the Welcome to Rebellion tour we're doing this year. And everybody for the support that you show me online. I appreciate you all, and thank you for, being the lizard you are.
Well, guys, this is this lady's first Comic-Con, so I want you to make a lot of noise as we exit her out of here.
Thank you, Gina!